Good afternoon, team. In the last activity, we worked on creating system request for a proposed application. In this activity, we will be working on evaluating feasibility of the proposed system that is mentioned in the system requirement diagram. We will be evaluating 4 important feasibility studies that include operational feasibility, economic feasibility, technical feasibility, and schedule feasibility. Based on the study, it is possible to understand whether the proposed system, the application that we have proposed in the system requirement diagram, is that possible system requirement request is possible to implement or not. Even if we implement it, we can be operated properly or not. Okay, this can be evaluated by using these feasibilities. Among these 4 feasibilities, if any feasibility is not achievable, then it is not an optimal decision to go ahead with system design process. So we need to work in such a way that whether the proposed system is feasible or not should be decided at initial stage of system design itself. Okay, if system design, like any of the activity, operational feasibility or economic feasibility or technical or schedule feasibility, if anything among them is not possible, then it will be difficult for the system to continue with further progress. We are supposed to make enough changes to further evaluate feasibility study and ensure that all the 4 types of feasibilities are possible. Okay, so if you read this 3 to 4 page work, it is very easy to understand how to evaluate a system for operational feasibility, technical feasibility, schedule feasibility, and economic feasibility. Let us start understanding operational feasibility. The first point, operational feasibility, speaks about ability of the organization to handle the application that will be completely developed. Okay, say for example, an application that is proposed by us is successfully implemented. After implementation, is the organization has the capability to handle the application, successfully use the application without any hurdles or not. That should be evaluated in this feasibility study. If you just cross check the questions and address the questions in a proper way, it clearly helps you to complete operational feasibility study. Let us cross check some of the questions that are given here. Does the management support the project? Does user support the project? Is current system well liked and effectively used? The user see the need for the change. Okay, see, when whatever the questions that are mentioned, when they all are positively handled, then only the application that is proposed will be positively handled. Okay, say for example, does management support the project? Yes, it is clearly identified that the organization management itself issued a contract to us, maybe based on the interest of the organizational management only. We are going to create the project. So definitely management will be supporting the project because they expect change in the organization and they have some problems that should be resolved. So definitely management of the organization will be positive towards development and implementation of the application. So management support is identified. Next one is, does user support the project? See, resistance to change always come from users only. Okay, users means the people who will be using the application. If you say that, like for example, in their day-to-day life, they will be using some sort of practices, regular practices. By creating a simple application, their day-to-day activities will completely change and they will be using system from tomorrow onwards. So in that context, does the employees support development of the application or not? That should be addressed. So definitely they will be supporting the application because development of the application increases efficiency of the performance of the employees. They can perform more effectively and they can increase their performance, because of which the organization might become successful and they will get some kind of benefits. Maybe salary increment kind of thing can be achieved from them because of high performance. So it is very clear that users of the application will definitely support the system, because the activities that they regularly do will be simplified in that way. Like you can write your own information. So simply I am explaining. Okay, is the current system well liked and effectively used? You should say yes. Okay, so in this one, like most of the questions should be yes, answers should be yes, because it should create a good customer experience, it should provide some better performance for the employees, it should help employees of the organization to improve the system. In that way you should discuss. Okay, so everything, most of the answers should be positive. Do legal or ethical issues needed to be considered? Yes, they will be considered, right? We know that we work a lot of times on ethical and legal issues. Will any risk to the company image or goodwill result? No. For this question it is no. Company's goodwill will be increased. Risk will be reduced. So just cross check all the detail. Next one is economic feasibility. Economic feasibility means there will be like different types of costs that will be engaged in the proposed project. You are supposed to identify that whatever the investment that we made, that should be creating a good returns to the organization. So we need to evaluate what are the costs that are involved in the project, and so is that a feasible cost for, like as we discussed in the first document, maybe 10,000 or 12,000, somewhere some budget was mentioned by us. So whatever the cost that incur in the creation of project, that should be limited to the selected budget, and the benefits that created by the application because of implementation of the application should be high when compared to the costs that are involved in development of the project. So if but whatever the investment that is made can be realized in less time, means like the returns can be get in less time, then we say that the project is economically feasible. So here the first consideration that we need to take is whether the project can be completed within the allocated budget or not. Okay, next, the kind of benefits the application will be created, and by what time the project can expect a good benefits. Okay, that should be discussed. Next, technical feasibility. You have like all the questions here. Technical feasibility speaks about availability of technology with the organization to use application. Okay, so as we have discussed, like most of the organizations that we have taken are small organizations, very small organizations. So what we say is we might be purchasing whatever the hardware that is required. Okay, does the company have necessary hardware, software and network resources? No, at the present the company do not have all these resources, but the company will be installing all the required resources before the implementation of project take place. Okay, so by the time the project is created, definitely the organization will be readily available with all the required hardware and software. So the work is technically possible. Does the company have technical expertise needed? Means the people who can use the application. For example, to use the application, the people who are working in the organization should also have some technical expertise. So do they have technical expertise? For example, system administration activities. To perform system administrator activities and networking activities, we need people who have networking skills and other things. So what we do is like all those people, like as of now, so considering the implementation of the application, required number of employees will be recruited by the organization. So some people will be technical in-house people, like we need to recruit some people who have relevant experiences. By doing that, technical feasibility is successfully implemented. Okay, does the proposed platform have sufficient capacity for future niche? Yes. So we will be creating a scope that more number of people added. If more number of people added, our application should also support them. Okay, then if you want to upgrade your application, the prototype should be supporting in that way. Okay, will a prototype be required? It's a prototype only, so ignore that question. Next, will hardware and software environment be reliable? With it integrate with other company information systems? Both now and future. With will it interface? So the application that is developed should be like towards upgradation or integrating of application with different application in that context. So this should be achieved. Will the combination of a hardware and software supply adequate performance? Do clear expectations and performance specifications exist? Yeah, these are generic questions. Will the system be able to handle future transaction volume and company growth? So if company grows, the application requirements will grow, right? So whether it is suitable or not. So we will be extending at least if the organization gets 10 to 20% growth, then the application will be supporting. Next, it is 2.6.4 schedule feasibility. This is related to the time. Okay, we will be planning a budget, right? Whether, I mean, depending on the budget, depending on the project plan, time schedule, is the project can be achieved or not, that should be evaluated here. Okay, can the company or IT team control the factors that should affect schedule feasibility? Means like do we have a proper project plan to ensure that time overrun is controlled? Yes or not? Yes, we will be saying that we will be following some kind of project planning framework, and the resources that are available with the organization will be allocated to all the activities. Okay, so and the project plan will be used as a control tool to handle whether all the activities are completed or not, and follow the direction based on which each and every activity that is associated with the organization is completed. In that way we will be discussing. So there are few questions that should be addressed. What conditions must be satisfied during the development of the system? So we need to discuss about it with regard to time. Okay, project plan. Will an accelerated schedule pose any risk? Will project management technique be available to coordinate and control the project? This is all already explained. Okay, so whatever the project plan we use, maybe MS project or some project management technique, we need to address whether that technique will handle properly time related issues. Okay, so we will just cross check each and every question is addressed or not. By that this application related feasibility study will be completed. Okay, approximately for each feasibility write 150 to 200 words. This makes your complete document. Okay, thank you. If any changes required, we work tomorrow. Just make sure that you complete it clearly.